The man accused of murdering the CEO of an insurance company is now facing terrorism charges.
We're watching a strong cold front due to blow in tomorrow morning. The changes it brings, including rain, coming up in First Warning Weather.
A robbery attempt turns into a deadly shooting in the heart of one of Austin's busiest shopping areas. Flags are flying at half-staff at Wisconsin's state capitol after a deadly school shooting in Madison. This comes as investigators try to figure out what motivated the 15-year-old girl police have identified as the shooter. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Jennifer Sanders.
And I'm Daniel Money. Investigators are tracking how she got her hands on the weapon. And as NBC's Jay Gray reports, they're also exploring an online post she may have written.
A day later, shock giving way to the gut-wrenching reality of what's happened in Madison, Wisconsin.
If your kids are at school, they are not okay. If they are at church, they are not okay. Where are they going to be safe?
A teenager and teacher gunned down inside a study hall at Abundant Life Christian School. At least 6 others wounded, including 2 students in critical condition with what's described as life-threatening injuries. Police say the attack carried out by a student, 15-year-old Natalie Ruppnow, also known as Samantha, who after the shooting apparently turned the gun on herself.
Identifying a motive is our top priority, but at this time it appears that the motive was a combination of factors.
Police and federal agents searching her home and removing evidence, interviewing her family, and continuing to comb the school for clues. Investigators also exploring an online post rumored to be written by Ruppnow.
Now, the process for doing that is looking at original documents that may have been taken from the suspect's home, looking at information that may be on laptops or on computer to determine if this document originated from our suspect.
Trying to figure out how and why it happened.
We will never be the same, but we will get through this together.
In a community struggling with all that's been lost. Jay Gray, NBC News.
Going in depth, data shows female shooters are relatively rare. An FBI review of active shooter incidents from 2000 to 2019 found of 345 shootings, 332 were men and 13 were women.
Austin police are looking for a gunman who they say shot and killed a teenager while trying to rob him. According to detectives, it happened early Friday morning around 1:45 in the parking garage of the Griffiths apartment at the Domain. A witness told police several suspects approached several people inside of their car and tried to rob them at gunpoint. They say when the driver tried to drive off, one of the robbers fired a shot into the car. The driver, who was hit, later died at the hospital. He has been identified as 17-year-old Carlos Sotelo.
First Warning Weather with Chief Meteorologist Nick Bannon.
Sure was another warm day here in Central Texas after the morning clouds. Plenty of afternoon sun, and we've still got that here early this evening from the Highland Furniture and River City Grill camera there in Marble Falls. Most of us are still well into the 70s, a lot of mid to upper 70s, even a few low 80s in spots. And you can thank the southerly wind as well as the afternoon sun to help bring our temperatures up, just like it did again yesterday. On clouds and radar, a partly cloudy sky, tiny little chance that a stray shower could sneak into our skies over the next few hours. We've got 10% or lower rain chances here through 11 o'clock tonight. Most of us just partly cloudy. 72 at 7, 60s at 9, mid 60s here at 11. Coming up in First Warning Weather, we've got a much better chance of rain tomorrow. We'll track scattered showers as a cold front blows through with wind and chillier air, setting us up for a drier pattern.
All right, Nick, thank you very much. A Texas man on death row could answer state lawmakers' questions at the Capitol this week. A Texas House committee issued another subpoena to hear from Robert Robertson in person. The Texas House Committee on Criminal Jurisprudence would like Robertson to testify this Friday. He was convicted of killing his young daughter more than 20 years ago based on shaken baby syndrome, which state lawmakers are now questioning as, quote, junk science. This new summons follows a decision from the Texas Supreme Court, which ruled that subpoenas cannot interrupt a future execution, but the subpoena can stand if it doesn't delay or block the execution.
The man pardoned after his murder conviction for killing an Austin protester in 2020 appeared before a judge today for a misdemeanor deadly conduct charge. Here's video of Daniel Perry walking into the courtroom this afternoon. Last year, a jury convicted Perry for the murder of Garrett Foster. He was sentenced to 25 years in prison, but Governor Greg Abbott pardoned him. In today's court hearing, Perry's defense presented the two motions they filed to try to get the case dropped. One of them argued this charge, if not dropped, could constitute double jeopardy. The judge is expected to rule on that motion on January 3rd. Depending on the judge's ruling, a hearing for the second motion is scheduled for January 9th.
And the man accused of killing United Healthcare's CEO has been charged with murder as an act of terrorism. Prosecutors disclosed the indictment today. Luigi Mangione already had been charged with murder, but the terror allegation is new. Under New York law, such a charge can be brought when an alleged crime is, quote, intended to intimidate or coerce a civilian population, influence the policies of a unit of government by intimidation or coercion, and the effect of the conduct of a unit of government by murder, assassination, or kidnapping. Prosecutors are continuing to work to bring the 26-year-old to a New York court from the Pennsylvania jail, where he is now. President-elect Donald Trump is launching a new legal battle today against an Iowa newspaper.
As NBC's Alice Barr reports now, the president-elect is signaling more legal action like this could be coming.
In a lawsuit mixed with a message, President-elect Trump today suing Iowa pollster Ann Seltzer and the Des Moines Register newspaper over a pre-election poll that showed Vice President Kamala Harris ahead by 3 points in Iowa. The Trump lawyers arguing consumer fraud and that the poll was intended to sway the race.
It became the biggest story.
Though Mr. Trump ultimately won the state by 13 points, the Des Moines Register saying it stands by its reporting and will, quote, vigorously defend our First Amendment rights. Some legal analysts question the suit's foundation.
Frankly, when you file a lawsuit, you have to say you were damaged in some way. What was the harm to Donald Trump? He won.
It comes after the president-elect won a separate suit against ABC News and a $15 million settlement over the Trump legal team's allegations that anchor George Stephanopoulos defamed him during an interview. The president-elect signaling more similar legal action could be coming.
We have to straighten out the press.
The Trump pick to head the FBI, Kash Patel, has suggested coming after journalists, later clarifying he means those who broke the law. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
A propane truck crashed and caught fire, sparking evacuations in Burnett County today. We got this video from a viewer who sent it to report it at KXAN.com. The Burnett County Sheriff's Office said the fire is burning itself out, and it could take several more hours for that to happen because the truck carried about 2,800 pounds of propane. This is just outside of Kingsland on FM 2342. The road is closed right now. The driver, fortunately, is okay. Investigators, though, are looking into what led up to that crash.
Well, progress of bringing this wishbone bridge, named for its shape over Lady Bird Lake, has traffic patterns changing for drivers and joggers. Starting tomorrow, drivers along South Pleasant Valley Road will see the traffic lanes shifted and then down to one lane in each direction. People using the hike and bike trail will also be redirected, I should say, to the east side of Pleasant Valley. And check out these photos showing the progress on the project. Crews started working on the bridge earlier this year, and work should be wrapped up by May.
Update on the pollen count. Cedar and mold are low, but they're both trending up. Our temperatures were the same as yesterday, 80 again, 2 degrees below the record. But a big change in the air come tomorrow morning. We'll show you the wind, the temperatures, and the rain in First Warning Weather.
TikTok has asked the U.S. Supreme Court to block a law that would ban the social media app in the United States. The law is set to go into effect on January 19th. It requires TikTok's Chinese owner to sell the platform to an American company or be banned. There are some concerns about the Chinese government's influence over the app. TikTok says the law violates its free speech rights, and it wants the Supreme Court to weigh in by January 6th.
Well, Darryl K., Royal Texas Memorial Stadium, rocking with Longhorn football in December is certainly not something that Austin is used to.
But it is happening this weekend with the first round of the college football playoffs happening against Clemson. KXAN's Barrett Tryon takes a closer look at how the game will end up helping tourism to the capital city and beyond.
Typically is a slower month for us, so to have a major event like a home football game, which we've never had before for UT, this is going to be a pretty good weekend for December.
That winter slump getting a major boost this weekend when the Clemson Tigers come to town to take on the Longhorns. Wesley Lucas with Visit Austin says it is nothing but good news for the city.
Certainly folks come into town, they stay in the hotels, they go out to eat, they go shopping, especially this close to the holiday. Maybe some folks are doing some last minute Christmas shopping.
It ends up trickling down far away from DKR Texas Memorial Stadium.
Really all businesses, not just in downtown and the University corridor, but in the surrounding areas of Austin are going to experience some business as well from this.
We would be forecasting to be around 30%. And we're looking to be about double that, if not more now.
The W Hotel in Austin already enjoying a spike in room reservations.
We've picked up about 20% of the hotel in the last week. So it's definitely a lot stronger than normal.
We have such a unique and authentic city that people want to experience. So we're looking forward to welcoming football fans this weekend at a unique time that we don't typically get to welcome football fans.
A winning weekend for Austin, no matter what. In Austin, Barrett Tryon, KXAN News.
Looking in depth, according to the Downtown Austin Alliance's State of Downtown 2024 report, the average daily room rate for a hotel in Austin is $263. By comparison, in Houston, you would pay $213 and $190 in Dallas, $177 in San Antonio.
And the weather not looking too bad for December for all these visitors.
No, and even though we do cool off as we head through the next few days, we're only cooling to average. We're not cooling way below average, although maybe you would prefer some colder nights and days to get in the festive holiday spirit. Our time will come. Let's show you what's happening on clouds and radar right now. Just a couple of spotty showers have tried to form over the last few hours. There's a complex of thunderstorms near Houston that looks to avoid us, but we're going to maintain a low, tiny 5 to 10% rain chance here through midnight tonight. To the north of us, it's not bringing any rain just yet, but there is a cold front. This will be dropping through Central Texas here tomorrow morning, and the rain chances will go up as that front approaches. So in the meantime, this evening will be a partly cloudy and mostly dry one. After midnight, the low clouds, areas of fog, and even drizzle start to fill in. And then as we head after about 6, 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, we start to see the arrival of some widely scattered to scattered showers, first in the northwestern hill country. And then as this front approaches, these showers start to spread slowly to the south and east. This is 9 in the morning. Still, northern metro could see some rain at this point, as well as much of the hill country. Austin and south generally dry through 8 and 9, but then soon after that, the scattered showers start to get to the metro and our eastern counties as well as we approach 10, and then that front continues to push the rain into our southeastern counties by midday, quickly drying us out behind the front. And then into the afternoon tomorrow, nothing but sunshine, but it will be noticeably cooler. As far as how much rain, look, don't get too excited about these amounts here tomorrow morning. I think scattered showers at best, most of them light, which means most of us get well under a quarter of an inch. There may be some localized amounts, a quarter inch or higher, only if we can get an isolated thunderstorm. These showers aren't going to amount to much. There's also going to be some pretty strong winds that come our way, at least briefly tomorrow morning. Tonight, the wind will be out of the south, but as our front approaches, the wind changes direction to be out of the west and then northwest. And then these are the gusts that come with the front in the 20 to 35 mile per hour range from mid to late morning and into the afternoon tomorrow. So it will be briefly gusty and then consistently breezy as we head through tomorrow afternoon. And then those wind gusts start to come down as we head into your Wednesday night. Temperatures are also going to do a weird thing here tomorrow. High temperatures will be in the morning in the upper 60s. Then that late morning front arrives. We drop briefly into the 50s, and then we try to climb back up for the afternoon thanks to the sunshine. I just don't think our afternoon temperatures are going to be warmer than our morning temperatures. So overnight lows down to 62, increasing clouds late and some areas of drizzle as as well, and just the tiniest shower chance tonight. We think 40% of Central Texas gets measurable rain tomorrow because the rain coverage along that line will just be scattered. But these rain chances are only morning and midday. We do dry out with increasing sun for the afternoon, and that high of 68 happens in the morning. Here's a look at our first warning weather 7-day forecast. You can see Thursday starts colder with lows in the upper 30s, but we bounce back into the mid 60s in the afternoon. Similar for Friday. Saturday, mostly sunny skies and 64, 66 Sunday with more clouds. We're back in the low 70s early next week with a low 10% rain chance on Christmas Eve day.
News Nation tonight. RFK Jr.'s attorney joins Chris live after his move to revoke the polio vaccine raises alarms. Plus, James Carville and Corey Lewandowski tonight on Cuomo. Then, the Banfield exclusive UFO investigation continues amid unexplained sightings. Brian Enton and a team of experts track down more witnesses. Has this been going on for decades? Banfield tonight, 10/9 Central.
And Northwest Austin Street has a new name in honor of a fallen San Marcos police officer.
Today, with this honorary renaming, we preserve Justin's legacy in the very place where his story began. This stretch of road outside of Westwood High School.
Near the intersection of Lake Creek Parkway, a stretch of Mellow Meadows Drive will now be known as Officer Justin Putnam Drive. The road is near Westwood High School, where he graduated back in 2007. Putnam died in 2020 while responding to a domestic violence call. Putnam's mother says she's grateful her son's legacy is being honored.
Believed in second chances. He believed in being kind to everyone. He, more than anything, believed in inclusion.
2 other officers were also injured in that shooting that police described as an ambush. Those 2 officers later recovered. Well, as the days tick down to the start of President Donald Trump's second term, so does the uncertainty about the future of the renewable energy. Trump has been vocal in his criticism of the Inflation Reduction Act, which is aimed at investing in areas ranging from clean energy to healthcare.
And some are worried that changing the policy could undo benefits to consumers. KXAN's Kevin Bosker dives into the issue.
During President Donald Trump's campaign, he called the Inflation Reduction Act, or IRA, a scam, and said he wanted to rescind all unspent funds under the act. That's something West Virginia Republican Senator Shelley Moore Capito supports.
Clawing back some of the regulatory areas that we've seen the Biden administration overreach. A lot of what they have in there is spending on green bank and environmental justice.
Much of the IRA consists of tax credits and deductions. One of the more popular ones allows for electric car buyers to qualify for a credit up to $7,500.
It's been a huge piece of legislation that has really pushed the whole energy transition forward.
Lithium battery company Energy X recently opened its headquarters in Austin in November. CEO Tegan Egan credits the IRA for encouraging manufacturers like him to invest in renewable energy.
Motivated private industry to indirectly further fund the energy transition.
There's growing EV charging infrastructure in Texas.
Liz John echoes that impact. As chief operating officer at Austin-based Spear, she advocates for energy efficiency.
There has been more of an interest and an increase in folks looking into the IRA and taking advantage of these credits, largely because of energy independence.
Tennessee Republican Senator Bill Hagerty says Trump isn't against renewable energy technologies.
He's just against an overreaching bureaucracy that tries to dictate the behavior and control Americans.
Kevin Bosker, KXAN News.
And President-elect Donald Trump has not yet specifically outlined how he plans to deal with the Inflation Reduction Act. Republicans do have control of Congress, though, making it easier to push through major changes to those policies when he enters office.
All right, well, here's a look at what you can watch tonight on KXAN in primetime.